I'm Nina King, and I'm chopping it up with Buck.
Shaka Heyward, I'm just here chopping it up with Buck.
Chopping it up with Buck.
I'm chopping it up with Buck on ADSN.
All right, we're chopping it up with Buck. We got the short episode, short edition now. We've been away for a while, but we're back. Football, college football is coming to you soon. We're at the ACC kickoff with a lot of great guests, a lot of good insight. One in particular, Nina King, AD at Duke, and a lot more to come. And learn more about what's happening with the ACC, not only on the field, but off the field. And you're going to love what we have coming up this season, but it starts today on Chopping It Up with Buck. Welcome back to Chopping It Up with Buck. I am Charles Arbuckle, happy to be with the new Duke University Athletic Director, Nina King. Nina, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me. Great to be with you.
So we were talking before the segment here, and you were just telling me about your experience and your background. First and foremost, it's good to see a person of color, an African-American woman, in that position. Tell me how you got to that point.
Sure. So grew up in Tampa, big sports city, but I didn't play sports growing up. And so I did my undergrad at Notre Dame, and I was a student manager. And that's how I really kind of got involved in college athletics and sparked a passion. And here I am just a few years later. Worked my way up through an athletic department at Notre Dame, went to law school, and then I've been at Duke for 14 years now, 13 before I assumed my role as Vice President and Director of Athletics.
What did you learn along that path of getting to the athletic director seat? Because it's a different seat now. It has changed a lot, as you know.
It's changed in the past 3 weeks. Yeah, I learned a lot. The value of mentorship, of having good people. Success takes a village, and putting the right people in your village to help champion you, support, mentor you. And so now I'm thrilled to have the opportunity that I can be in other folks' village and really champion and pave the way. And you mentioned being a person of color. We have 3 black female ADs in the Power 5. 3, which is great. The 3 of us are close. 2 in the ACC, Carla Williams at Virginia and Candace Lee at Vanderbilt is the other. And the 3 of us are really close and really understand that now it's our time to not pave the way for folks to come behind us, but to come with us. We don't have time to wait for the next generation. We need people of color, women in the chair now.
I love when you say that, because you talk about mentor, and I was going to ask you, who was one of those mentors that made you see you can get that path? Because if you don't have those people in front of you, who gave you the thought and the impetus to say, I can do this, I can get there?
Well, first and foremost, Kevin White. He is the godfather of college athletics. So I first met him at Notre Dame. He was the athletic director at Notre Dame. And then when he went to Duke, I went with him. And so I've worked right by his side for almost 20 years, which has been absolutely fantastic. I'm the 31st person to have worked for him to become an athletic director. So
he's an athletic director engine. I mean, he puts
exactly. And he really understood the placing a priority on creating opportunities for women and people of color. And so it was a non-negotiable priority for him, and really so many of us have benefited from that vision, that mentorship.
So tell us about the athletic programs at Duke. I know David Cutcliffe is no longer there. Mike Elko is a head coach, who I think you guys are set up for success. I've known your program a number of years living here in Charlotte, and what you've been able to do, not just in football, but just tell us about some of the things that are happening at the athletic program now.
We have 27 sports, and in our 3 high-profile revenue sports, football, men's and women's basketball, all new coaches. And then plus me, it's a new iteration of Duke athletics, which is really exciting. But we've got also longtime coaches that have been very successful. Men's and women's lacrosse, men's and women's tennis, baseball, softball is a new program for us, really cranking. I mean, in year 5, they went to the super regionals, which has been absolutely amazing to watch what Marissa Young's done for that program. So, I mean, across 27 sports, 750 student athletes, we had over 600 student athletes on the ACC honor roll, so they're crushing it in the classroom as well as competitively, athletically. And so it's so much fun, and the energy and enthusiasm around our campus is really exciting. And especially around football. I mean, as we turn the page, the fall season's about to start. I'm so excited to see what Coach Elko and his staff does. He's hired a superstar staff, all new look in Duke football, and we're ready. Let's go.
John Shire taking over for Coach K. Tell us a little bit about that, because my thought, just as you were talking, Kevin and I need to come down and spend the day before you guys play UNC at Cameron Indoor. That would be, the behind-the-scenes thing. But tell us a little bit about the basketball program there.
Sure. Well, I mean, how do you replace an iconic legend? 42 years of Coach K and what he's done, not just for Duke basketball, but Duke University and for sport around the world has been absolutely amazing. And so John Shire has big shoes to fill. But listen, he's ready. He's up to the task. He's ready for it. He's the #1 recruiting class this year and next year already. I mean, he's killing it recruiting. But he's got great vision, and he's really ready to take this program to the next level. And when we went through the interview process, we interviewed several candidates and went through a whole search. And John really emerged as the candidate, and I'm so excited to watch Duke men's basketball under his leadership.
We are so happy to have you here on the Chopping It Up with Buck. We'll do this again, and what we have to do is come up to Duke and spend time with you and in your office. I love the reason this started was because of COVID. And then after not having an ability to get out, just start calling people I knew and getting together. So it's so nice to finally meet you, and thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, come see us in Durham. It'll be fun. Thanks.
Chopping It Up with Buck, Nina King, thanks a lot. All right, we're back on Chopping It Up with Buck. I have Shaka Heyward. He and I were talking before the break. I played with Craig Ironhead Heyward in New Orleans. His cousins are balling at the next level. I think he's got that chance to do it too. All the tackles that he's made at Duke. Tell us about your career and your progression getting to Duke, and now some of the things you're doing on the field.
Getting to Duke, it was I was under just watching Joe Giles Harris. He's with the Buffalo Bills now. Just watching everything that he did. He just taught me, stay in the film room. Growing up to Coach Gothi. He coaches with the Atlanta Falcons now. He taught me a lot of most of the stuff I know now. And then moving forward with Coach McGrath, who's at Ohio State. I've had a lot of different coaching changes. But and then Rob Smith now, everyone's kind of like sprinkled in. But it's been great just getting new knowledge from different coaches and putting it all together and into my game.
Who was your favorite linebacker growing up? Because you play the middle, right? And I don't think people realize how tough it is in there. I played tight end, so I used to like to battle you guys. But tell us about who you watched as a young kid growing up or young high school player really learning the game.
I would say you're definitely Ray Lewis. Yeah, just a field general, just commanding everyone on the defense, just having that instinct as a linebacker, just having a feeling for where the play is going to go, having a feeling for what play is going to be called next and stuff like that.
You're kind of a quiet guy, but I watch you on the field. You're a little bit boisterous. You have to be at the middle linebacker position. So tell us a little bit about what you do to get into that mindset.
Being able to talk on the field, that's what's going to help you win. So, all that quiet stuff, that's just off the field. On the field, you got to be a competitor. You got to do whatever it takes to win.
Who talks more trash than you on the offense in the ACC? Any guys that stand in the mind that that talk as much trash?
Our team on the offensive side, I would say J5, Jalen. Or John Tavis, definitely John Tavis, #1.
Do they get personal, or does it just keep going on and on and on?
It get personal with you. J5 will keep it keep it cool, but J5 will get personal with you.
Now tell us a little bit about your mindset on playing that middle linebacker position. Just some of the things, as you said it earlier, slowing the game down. Now you've been in different systems, but different coaches. Talk to the young kids about that, because I don't think they realize what you have to do to learn the game of football.
All right, just being able to take coaching, to see it from a different point of view. You can't always have it the same point of view, because you might miss something. So it's important to have being able to talk to different people and get different point of views.
We've had a lot of interesting players here this week talking ball and everything you can think of. So we need to get to know some of these guys a little bit better. Here's ADSN reporter Kimmy Dole with our ACC kickoff version of the 2-minute drill. Let's go.
Give us a fun fact of something that people might not know about you or might be surprised to know about you.
Oh, I speak Chinese. 你好，我叫张克，你呢？ Hi, my name is Nick. What about you?
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
What's up?
I would say, so I use the one, I'm a big Disney guy, right? So, like, you put on any Disney movie, the musicals, all that, like, I know the songs, like, a lot of the routines. Like, I'm a big Disney fan. So
Wait, not the routine.
like, a little bit here and there, different movies, specifically, Let It Shine. We talk about the rap battle from there. That's where we take over, me and my sister, so.
I can play the flute. I guess it's a fun fact.
And how old were you when you started playing?
Second or third grade, so around like 9 or 10.
Did you have a favorite song to play on it?
Hot Cross Buns.
What is your go-to song before a big game?
Question. So honestly, it depends on the day. So I always mix in some Roddy Ricch, some Lil Baby, but I always listen to Dreams and Nightmares by Meek Mill. That's like the go-to every game.
Do you have a go-to song that you listen to before a game?
I don't necessarily have a go-to song. I listen to Lil Wayne before games, but like on the bus on the way to the games. But like once I get to the stadium or whatever, I kind of really take the music off and kind of lock in with myself and kind of like meditate.
I would say Thug Holiday.
Why is that?
It just gets me in that mode, like ready to go to battle, pretty much go to war.
I like to listen to gospel music. That's really my pregame ritual, just get me in the mood, get the spirits going into me.
Power by Kanye West. I feel like that gives me a little spark before the game. I mean, just like no one man should have all that power. That goes through my head when I'm about to play because I feel like that's me. I'm like, no one man should have all that power.
I always got to play Hellcats and track halts before every game.
I used to pray for times like this, to rhyme like this, so I had to grind like that, to shine like this, in the matter of, I'm going to stop before it gets you a little.
Get hype?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, so I'm just not a music guy really. So like I'm really just like really bad with music and everything like that. So I just listen to a bunch of my roommates' playlists. So a lot of Future right now. They're in the Future.
And I see your sneakers. We got to take a look at this. So tell me about this.
Well, yeah, I was just telling you I'm from New Orleans. So on the inside we got like the Mardi Gras theme, with the Mardi Gras colors from the 504 to the 434. And then on the outside, we have the UVA with the football and basketball with sports and the V-Saber. And then on this side, we have more Virginia colors with the trick bag logo. And then on the back, it's like the V-Saber and my number.
My all-time favorite sneaker is either Dunks or I like the Yeezy 350s. I have like a bunch of pair of them in my closet, so one of them.
I say Air Jordan 3s. That's the first Jordan I ever had, I'll have to say the Gamma 11s.
I'm not really a sneakerhead like that.
So what are you into?
I really just wear Nikes every day, like the same pair of Nikes every day.
I got the greatest city in the world, Atlanta, the 404. Gotta put the skyline on there. I also got, a big staple of UVA is the Rotunda. So I got the Rotunda right here. And then I got the lawn leading up to the McIntyre School of Commerce, which I was fortunate enough to get accepted into. And I got weights, love lifting weights, and then I got some sushi right there because that's my favorite food, so it's been great.
Hey, I am here with Tony Siracusa on the last word on college football. Tony, thanks for finally coming on. I've known Tony for years. He was a big time UCLA fan, was a UCLA writer. Now he's with Wake Forest. So thanks for coming on the Chopping It Up with Buck section, Tony.
Glad to do it, Buck. Glad to do it for you.
Yeah. So tell me about your experience now. You move all the way across the country.
Right.
You're with Wake Forest. Dave Clawson, who I think has done a fabulous job at Wake. Tell us a little bit about what's happening in Wake and what your experience has been there so far.
Yeah, I think with Wake, one of the things you're looking at is building off last year. They had really unprecedented success, going 11-3 overall, winning a bowl game, playing for the conference championship. So Clawson's approach this year is mindset. That's a theme he keeps using, which is don't get caught up in what happened. You enjoyed it. It was a good run, but what have you done for me lately? And so that's something you've seen from the leadership of the team, guys like Sam Hartman at quarterback. Every practice, every bit of spring camp, it was all about mindset and what are you doing today?
Sam Hartman, a guy from locally here in Charlotte. I'll tell you this, too. The thing that I look at Wake, if you think about Jim Grove, think about how they've always been one of those teams that nobody really gives any credit to.
Right, and you know what? Clausen loves playing off that. He talked yesterday about, the media is going to pick us to finish next to last in the division, which of course we're not doing that. But he feeds off of that and kind of the you're not giving us any love, so we're going to do something about that. Kind of a chip on the shoulder kind of attitude.
Our theme for this year is mindset. And every year we come to these media days and people have low expectations of us, and we never let that dictate how we went about our weekly process or our preparation. That we had confidence we could be a good football team, maybe despite what people on the outside thought. And now that people have a different perception of us, we welcome that, but it can't change the way that we operate. It can't change our mindset.
So, Tony, I think the other big thing is when you look at Wake, defensively they played well, offensively with the guys that they have. I know there's some talk about the changes there. What have you seen from being there for the short time that you have, and what is it about that leadership that you were talking about?
Yeah, well, I think when you have as many returning players as they do in the starting lineup, when you're looking at 19 to 20 returnees, you have high expectations. But of course, they brought in a new defensive coordinator in Brad Lambert and changed a lot of the defensive staff. They gave up way too many yards last year in the run, and they weren't very aggressive, even as good as they were. So I think what you saw in spring was the defense really having to learn new schemes, the offense playing a little slow for the first couple of weeks, letting the defense kind of get their legs under them and learn the new schemes. And then by the end, everybody was at full speed and really picked it up. And Dave Clawson called it going from checkers to chess. And by the end of camp, he said, we're now playing chess.
I've known Brad a long time, used to call games there when he was on Grove's staff. What has Brad brought to that defense? Because he has always been a guy that can really get his defense to get after you, and his secondary usually plays really well.
Yeah, I think you hit it, that they're going to get after you. They're not going to sit back and wait.
Kitchen sink.
Exactly. They're going to be much more aggressive. It's going to be much more of a forward-moving defense, not a defense that's waiting to react to the offense.
A lot of people complain about how Sam and those guys go slow with the zone read. Tell us a little bit about that, because I think Dave Clawson has done a really nice job of getting that offense set up for some real good success this year as well.
Yeah, if you just watch them and you haven't really seen Wake Forest before, it does look like the zone read goes in a little bit of slow motion. But when you watch Sam go through the progressions, you see that it really makes a lot of sense because he's sitting back there with 3, 4, 5 options on every play.
He's been around UCLA football since 1972. Now we welcome him to the Carolinas. Tony Siracusa from Last Word on College Football. We're chopping it up with Buck.
Now I'm not really one for attention. Shine a light through a prism full spectrum. Pull the curtains back, you in my dimension.
We're back at the ACC Media Kickoff. I'm with Scotty Rogers, Director of Communications with this Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. That's a mouthful, but I got to get in. I got it once. How you doing?
Hey, good to see you, Buck.
So I've known Scotty a long time. We go way back. Tell us about how the Cotton Bowl Classic has grown and what you've been able to do there, and a little bit about your history as well.
You know, I've been very fortunate in my career. I got started at the Southeastern Conference. I'm an Alabama graduate. And during my time at the SEC, I actually started volunteering for the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, or the Cotton Bowl Classic at the time. And I went on a 21-year journey as my career moved to different places. I kept going back every year, so I volunteered for 21 years until I actually got on board in this role as Director of Communication. It's been a fun time, such great people there. They do so much in the community, not only through the bowl game, but through our Cotton Bowl Foundation, where we give money to some needy and well-deserving organizations in the city, in the Metroplex or North Texas, as we call it. It's just an amazing organization. I'm just proud to be a part of it.
Whenever I see Scotty, we can't stop thinking about those times back in the day. But one thing we were talking about before this segment is the challenges of getting to that spot, especially for people of color, African-American kids, and men and women. So tell us a little bit about that, some of the things you're doing to help get that pipeline of young people like you into the broadcasting industry.
Well, one thing, in the North Texas area, I'm on the board of directors for the Black Sports Professionals North Texas chapter, bspntx.com. Check us out. So we're doing great things there. We do a panel or some sort of social event once a month. I'm a member of COSIDE. I'm on a number of different boards. I help launch our Racial and Social Justice Initiative. I'm on the DEI committee. I'm on our Special Awards committee, and I'm on our our D1 cabinet. So just through that and through the conversation with folks, just try to help some of our young folks that's in the profession to get in, to get connected with the right people. I'm fortunate enough to be in college athletics almost 30 years. So I have a lot of people that I know, and some of these young folks need to get connected to some of these veterans in the business of all colors, of all backgrounds, of all levels of college athletics, and get to know them and learn what they do and learn how to do it and learn from the veterans and learn from the experts so that they can become that next generation.
Who was a mentor for you? Who got you in this business and really helped you understand your path and your trajectory here?
When I got into Alabama, it was the great folks at Alabama, and Larry White gave me a great opportunity there as a student. And then I got hired at the SEC. Roy Kramer, Mark Whitworth, Charles Bloom, those guys were really the first ones to give me that opportunity. And really, Roy Kramer, he promoted me on the spot 9 months into my internship. So he gave me my first job, and it was like a snap of the finger. I went from being an intern to being a full-time, so I just had to go. And for the young folks, you talk about that. For the young folks, you got to seize those opportunities when they come to you. You got to take a chance. You got to get out there. You got to grind it out. It's not all about the money early on. It's all about the opportunity and taking advantage of that opportunity, because if you do that and you do good to people, they'll do good to you.
He's talking about the great Roy Kramer, who is probably the godfather of college football, and all the things that we see now are some of his genesis. So, Scotty, I want to thank you, man. I appreciate it. We always get together. Next time we're down in North Texas, we got to come by and spend some time kicking it with you guys, chopping it up, spending some time and just really understanding more about the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic.
Absolutely. Come on down. We'd love to have you.